This is TWiT.
Hey, buddy, are you a geek? Are you a tech enthusiast? Then I would love to invite you to join a tech community like no other. You can gain exclusive access to our incomparable quality tech content for just $7 a month with Club TWiT. As a member, you'll enjoy all TWiT TV shows ad-free, plus access private video feeds for insider shows like Home Theater Geeks and so much more. Dive into the members-only TWiT Plus bonus feed for behind-the-scenes content, club discussions, and special events. But here's the best perk. Join our incredible Discord community to watch live show productions, chat with hosts, and participate in exclusive members-only activities. It's your backstage pass to the world of TWiT. Whether you're a tech enthusiast or a lifelong learner, Club TWiT elevates your knowledge while entertaining your interests. Get 2 weeks free when you sign up now for $7 a month and unlock unparalleled access at twit.tv/clubtwit. That's twit.tv/clubtwit. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you and welcome to the club. Hey, everybody, especially warm welcome to our Club TWiT members, new and old. We do have a lot of new members in the new year. It's 2025. One of the things you joined the club for, well, I know the real reason you joined the club is to support the work we do here at the TWiT Podcast Network. But another reason is the exclusive content. And today we're going to do exactly that with our good friend, Chris Marquardt. Our photo guy is here.
Hello, hello, hello.
We have dubbed this photo time with Chris Marquardt. So just if you're new to the game, for years, literally for something like 15 or 16 years, Chris, who is a professional photographer, would give us an assignment every month on the Tech Guy, every week on the Tech Guy show. And he'd be on, but every month he'd give us an assignment. And we are going to continue those assignments and continue the photo news every month in the club. Chris is at discoverthetopfloor.com. He leads photo safaris, photo expeditions. He's also a very accomplished photographer. You can find his work on Flickr and elsewhere. We're very happy to have him as part of the TWiT family. Hi, Chris.
I'm very happy to be here and to have been here for like
ever.
What feels like
forever.
Ever. Yes, exactly.
I'm going to move you though, because I feel like you should be on the right and I should be on the left. I don't know why. I just feel like that's where I belong. On the left, on the progressive left. And
okay. That's where we're going. Okay.
That's not where we're going. That's exactly not where we're going.
No.
I am also going to pull up our chat because we have wonderful people watching the show. 8 different ways to watch when we do these. Of course, if you're a Club TWiT member, you already know about the Discord. Quality is usually a little bit better in YouTube, youtube.com/twit/live. There's also Twitch, Kick, X, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok. So plenty of places to watch us live. And if you are watching live, you'll see the chat. And we're picking up chat from all of those. You can see if you look at the little chat icon, your head has a little logo, a little sigil to its bottom right. And that says where you are. So we see Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch right at the top there. Great to have all of you. Welcome. Chris, do you want to do the photo assignment first, and we'll talk about a little photography news?
Well, a quick thing about photo quality, because you just talked about video quality, and I had for a while issues with video quality. That might be topical for this. And it turned out for streaming video, you might want to, if you have quality issues with like your picture coming through blurry or something, you might want to have a look at your router settings, because I figured out that my router had the wrong QoS, quality of service settings for video streaming. So it dropped some of those valuable UDP packets, and things didn't come through quite as efficient as they come now. So picture should be much better. I set everything.
It looks great.
Quality of service is the secret.
You want to prioritize video over other stuff.
Yes.
And that makes sense.
Some routers have like a preset, and that's at streaming, prioritize streaming or video or something. That's the one you want to choose. Yeah.
Well, it does look great. Well done. Bravo. Yeah, not that I didn't notice a problem in the past, but okay. I'm going to hide the overlay actually, because we are going to now look at some wonderful images submitted by our viewers.
Right. So we did another fishbowl draw, and the last one was intricate. And
not a huge number of
photos,
submissions here, only 10.
Yeah, but that's okay. That's okay. We have, I still made a selection because there is really good stuff. Every time we do one of these, there are great photos coming in. So,
and I always enjoy it because I always am curious what's in people's heads when we say intricate, when we say our assignments. Well, what does that mean to you? Intricate's an interesting one. So
yeah,
let's start with the, I don't want to say winners. Everyone's a winner here, but the ones that you thought would be particularly interesting to talk about. How about that?
Exactly. So are you going to share? Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Good. First one is by Jose Luis Urbieta, and it's titled "Almost Falling." It has
Almost
a title.
Falling.
It has a title. Yay! And what
it's really small on my screen, so let me enlarge it before I put it on the screen here, because I want to make sure everybody can see all the detail. This is a really lovely photo. Okay, there we go.
So it's an architecture photo. It is black and white, which for this kind of a subject matter works really well, because that really emphasizes lines, the straight lines, the contrasts, and so on. And it has some form of a work of art in the front, which is a concrete ball balancing on top of a wall, and it looks like it's almost about to fall over. So it's a great juxtaposition between rectangles and the circle, which totally sticks out because it's the only thing different in terms of the category of shape it's in. And it's also interesting because you don't want that thing to fall on your head. So
that's one of the things, people, let's see if I can get this arranged right here. One of the things people often want to know is, how do I know if a photo is good? I know I ask that myself a lot of the times. I once asked a friend of mine who was a National Geographic photographer, and he said, well, you just know it in your gut. But I think he was a pretty good photographer. For me, a photo that makes me do a double take or want to look at it closer, and this one has that because the ball looks like it's out of place. And so you look at it and you go, wait a minute. Oh, you're trying to figure out what's going on. And that to me is one of the things I look for in a great photo.
And the double take is also pretty much one of my definitions. If you flick through a bunch of photos and that's the one you go back to, it's like, oh, let me have another look. Yeah. Then that's probably
there's something going on here
about
that you
want
to you want to pay attention to. Exactly. Well, very nice. Thank you, Jose, for that photo.
So, second picture by Byte for Byte, titled Lamp Man. What we're looking at is it's a scene on a market somewhere, on a market stall, with I don't know, a couple of hundred lights with very intricate patterns on them. Little table lamps, little lamps that hang from the ceiling, different colors. And that's a busy photo, but and which I'm not usually a great fan of, because the busyness kind of takes away or it commands so much attention to different parts of the picture that you, as a viewer, you find yourself chasing around the picture.
As my mom used to say, too much spice makes the soup bland.
But what this does is kind of tosses that entire intricate lamp scene into, like, the lamp is a soup, and
and there's something floating in it.
and there's something. Oh, you said that, yeah. But yeah, there's something in the middle, and that's people. And
it draws you in, yeah.
So the whole intricate structure of that picture turns into a frame for the person sitting there. There's another person, but that's out of focus. So the person focused, the owner probably, he's wearing a hat and a jacket, so it might be a bit fresh outside, and it just turns into an intricate frame of sorts, and I totally like that.
Love that. Yeah. I have many photos like this of shots into shops with shopkeepers sitting there bored. I don't know what it is. These photos draw me. And this one looks like it's in Turkey or somewhere in the Middle East. Yeah.
Very, very, intricate and very lively, taken like straight out of
Really like it.
Out of A Day in the Life.
Yeah. Lamp Man.
And then
last
one is the third one is by Demi Lente again.
Now that's two people, right?
That's
or
two.
No?
It's two people. It's a couple. And they are, by the way, doing an awesome job on Blue Sky to advertise our
thank you, Demi Lente.
Our little photo shows here. So they've written posts and
they're often selected for their quality work.
And they do a good job. They do a really good job. So this photo called Many Paths, we're looking at. It looks like a spider web in the morning dew with lots of drops of water on it.
Yeah.
Even though if you zoom in, if you click on the picture, you zoom in, it kind of feels like it's little metal balls, but that doesn't make any sense because they are all at different sizes. So
shouldn't we be able to see the photographer? We zoom in enough?
No, because they are not mirrors. They are magnifying glasses. So they show what's behind them.
Oh, it's behind them. Okay.
But
wow. It's really amazing.
Hard to see, and then a very unique, like a very good backdrop in terms of interest. You don't really know what it is, but it's kind of uniform in color, but not quite. Yeah. So there's some interest there, and I'm a fan of this photo.
Yeah,
it's a good one.
So sometimes I don't like abstract photography. This one definitely draws the eye. I could imagine a spider sitting in that web. That would probably add some interest for some people, but the entire abstract nature of this, it works for me. And it's gorgeous.
It's only half abstract because it is a spider web of sorts. Yeah, possibly. I'm not sure.
Very nice.
And maybe they forced this by finding a spider web and using a spray bottle to. I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest. The photos
is that
I've
okay?
seen of them, I would think so. We did this on a workshop. We had a workshop years ago in Germany, and I sent the group out to take some interesting photos. And one of them took a spray bottle with them, and they got in trouble because one of the neighbors they sprayed the neighbor's bushes, and the neighbor wasn't happy about that.
I'm not thinking in terms of what your neighbors are going to say. I have a more journalistic kind of view of photography. Yeah, I like photography to reflect something.
But what's the photo for? I mean, this is always the question.
No, it's
is
a
it
good
a journalistic photo or is it art?
Yeah, that's
fair. The two categories pretty much. So is it art? Is it journalism? If it's journalism, of course you're not supposed to.
But that's my own bias
and make it look different.
Yeah.
If it's art, hey, I will take something out that doesn't belong there. I don't know. I mean, there are limits, but I'll push a branch of a bush aside just to be able to see that flower better and so on. So
that's fine. I'm not criticizing it. I think it's a beautiful photo.
Find your own limits. Everyone can.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's not a photo I would take because unless I saw it. It's not a photo I would create, I guess. But that's me.
But the seeing of things, the noticing of things is a really important part of the whole process of taking a picture. If you don't notice something, then there is no picture.
Right.
So
it is. That's what it's all about, isn't it? It's one of the reasons we do this assignment is to get you out there taking photos. Demi Lente writes, many paths. There's always another route to take. Follow the path least traveled and have an adventure. So they even put an epigram in with their photos. This is from a 5D Mark IV. Very nice.
An art piece in many different ways.
Actually, they say this is a close-up of a spider web found on our pergola on the morning of January 1st on New Year's Day, 2025. So maybe they didn't do anything. Maybe they just focused just right. And that's what they got. Yeah, I love it. Very nice. All three of you. Well done. Now,
good job.
Again, the idea of these assignments is just an excuse to go take photos. So we're going to give you another assignment, and now we're getting on a regular 4-week schedule, which is good. So you'll have 4 weeks to take a photo, and Chris has the fishbowl. Chris, dig deep. Find a term, a word, an adjective, and our next photo assignment.
I like this one. No, focus. Okay.
No eyes. The eye.
Luminous.
You have the same camera I do, and it sees your face. That's why. Luminous.
That's cool.
Luminous. There is a photographer whose website is Luminous. I'm trying to remember who it is. So good. Okay. So now we have a new assignment. This means you go out, you take a picture, an image. You can take as many as you want, of course, illustrating the word or concept luminous, but once at most once a week. So we want to limit you to 4 shots, I guess. You could say, this one, this is it. This is the one Chris is going to go crazy for. And you can upload it to flickr.com. And then once you've uploaded it, tag it TG for Tech Guy. Yes, we still use it. It's still the Tech Guy group. So we still use that. TG Luminous, Luminous. Now, we do that so that our moderator, Renee Silverman, the wonderful Renee Silverman, can notice that you've uploaded this and will add it to the group. She will welcome you if you're not already a member of the group. Flickr's free, by the way, flickr.com. And then just search for the group with the Tech Guy group with 14,000 members, 7.8 thousand photos. Well, we've been doing this since forever. Since 2007, right? So, of course, there's a lot of members. And then you'll be in the photo pool. And because of the tag, Chris and Renee will be able to figure it out. So TG Luminous, up to 4 a week, and 4 a month, rather. One per week, yeah. And in about a month, we'll see. As you see that Renee very nicely, or maybe you do this, Nubui did it. That's you, Chris Marquardt.
That's me, yeah.
We'll post the date and time of the next
I'll keep that updated.
Roughly February.
So you can find out when it's going to happen.
We'll figure it out by the end of the show, I guess. We'll figure it out. Or shortly thereafter. Excellent. Now, one of the things that not being on the radio does for us, it gives us the opportunity to talk about photography for a while. Normally, you'd be done. Your 7 minutes would be up, Chris.
Bye-bye. Nice.
But thank goodness we get a little more than that. So what is up in the world of photography?
So I looked at some of the news items from over the last 4 weeks, and I picked a few juicy ones out. Here's the first one that I found interesting. I remember holding a photo workshop in Canyonlands National Park. 2015, 17, somewhere about that. And one of the issues is when if you want to do something like that, you have to get a permit, and it's expensive. And if you don't get a permit, then someone will rat you out. So it's difficult, and it adds complication and cost. That is now off the table, at least for most of these things. The Explore Act, or the Film Act inside of the Explore Act, has been, like, the Senate has approved the bill and Biden has signed it before Christmas. So that touches directly on photo and film productions in U.S. national parks, which means I believe groups with fewer than 6 people can now, like, do commercial photography and filming in
that's the way it should
national
be.
Parks without a permit.
As long as you don't disrupt the beauty and serenity of the park, that's the way it should be, I think.
Yeah, there are some rules. I mean, you have to like, you can't affect the experience of other park visitors. Yeah. You can't just step in front of people.
Yeah, not my way. That's actually become a problem with Instagram influencers. There are a lot of places. Don't try to go see the lavender fields in the south of France anymore. There's always an influencer tromping through them. So be nice, you know.
So I found this noteworthy because I had some prior experience with that.
I had no idea you needed a license, and I've taken pictures. But I mean, if you're just going around snapping pictures, you're okay.
If you don't do this in a commercial fashion, if you want to sell those pictures, make a calendar, or then that's a commercial endeavor, and that's what you needed a permit for. But if you are a group under 6 people, that should be a thing of the past. So nice. Another governmental thing that happened in the EU is the EU now mandates USB-C connections on electronics.
You know, it's funny because we've been talking about this forever and ever, but it's now official, right? It's law.
It is official. It has been gone. It has gone official like at the end of the year, and that is for smartphones, tablets, cameras, headphones,
Good.
portable speakers, and laptops, and they must use USB-C for charging, which. The goal is to reduce e-waste, to simplify things. But the interesting thing is that this is the first time that a specific technology has been mandated, I believe. USB-C.
And a good thing, because, I'm not a fan normally of governments telling tech companies how to do their business. That's, on the face of it, not a good idea. But there's such ways, the EU pointed this out, with all these different proprietary chargers. It's gotten so much better with phones in the last few years. Almost everybody's Type-C now. Finally, Apple got rid of its Lightning, and that kind of made it everybody. But now this is going to apply to laptops in a year, which I think is also great, because how many different proprietary laptop chargers do you have?
And of course, the whole nest of cables in your boxes in some drawer. So I think it's okay. USB-C does hopefully have a bit longer of a life in
well, that's the issue. The only issue we get raised on our shows when we talk about this is, well, now that they prescribed USB-C, what happens when the next big thing comes along? Our company's going to be able to adopt that? Is it going to get in the way of innovation? And that's a good point.
That's the argument of the industry, of course.
Yeah.
We'll have to see. I personally, I'm a fan because I like not having to have too many cables, even though within USB-C there is a bit of there's so many different cables that don't work for everything or don't.
Well, that's another issue entirely.
That's a totally different issue.
Alex Lindsay's always railing about that. There is a logo system, a little thing that should appear on all USB-C cables that tell you what the cable does, but very few manufacturers use it. So I'm just looking at this USB-C cable here, and it doesn't have any logo on it, or it just, oh, wait a minute, this one does. Now, see, this is a good one. This has a lightning. This is from Otherworld Computing. It has a little lightning bolt on it and a 4, which now I know that's Thunderbolt 4. That's what it should.
Or spend $10 to get a cheap cable tester and then label your cables yourself. Anyway,
it's still a problem, I think. Yeah, it's too bad.
So cameras from now on will have to have USB-C, which again, it's a EU regulation, but of course that will affect everyone in the world because manufacturers won't make two different things for those different markets. So
luminous landscape, that's the one. Thank you, Mac Fixer. That was the famous photography landscape. I think that was one of the first HDR landscapes, wasn't it? I believe so. Yeah. Luminous landscape.
I do remember that.
Yeah,
but I haven't
ring a
been
bell.
there in ages.
Yeah. But that doesn't mean we can't use the word luminous.
Of course not.
I don't think the luminous landscape people would mind too much. I'll tell you what, to make them feel better about that, here's a little plug for a luminous landscape, the photographer's knowledge resource. And actually, I've read many articles here and used them as recommendations for a variety of lenses and cameras to buy. It's a very good site.
Luminous is a regular English word, right?
Yeah, you can't keep us out of there. 12 years they've been going. That's a long time. Luminous landscape. Michael Reichman. That's the name I was trying to remember. He does some he's a wonderful photographer. So, Michael, I hope you don't mind if we just temporarily borrow the adjective for our assignment. And thank you very much, Max Fixer DK, which I presume is our Danish Mac Fixer. I promise, because of that, I won't try to get Greenland. So you can keep Greenland. What else is going on?
Just a color channel green. Have you noticed the trend of digital compact cameras coming back?
It's so
digital
funny.
Point and shoots?
It's so funny. I was just watching some kids today I was eating my little sandwich at our local like bakery, and there were two young people, probably in their teens, and one of them had a point and shoot and took a picture of the other one. And I thought, well, that's so retro, but apparently it's back.
It is really coming back, at least among certain groups. There seems to be like a
like hip, like having a record player kind of thing.
I'm not sure. I mean, there is definitely a nostalgia element. That's like early 2000s cultural renaissance a bit.
But they still sell them, right?
It's fired. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
We'll get there. We'll get there. It's of course a thing on like TikTok and other platforms. If you look at the hashtag Y2K or the hashtag digital camera, they're getting millions of views on those.
Wow.
It's also celebrity fueled. So little point and shoot. It's also, I believe, a bit of a rebellion against smartphones, because the smartphone photos are, I mean, they do a lot of computation to get you an as perfect as possible photo, right? That's what they do, these things.
They intervene.
They make your photos better than they should be sometimes, and they are also full of distractions. You pick up your smartphone, and there might be 5 notifications of your friends pinging you. A point and shoot is distraction free because it does only one thing: it takes photos. So you can be more focused on photography, and also if you look at like older ones, the photos sometimes have a bit of a unique look. Like we're looking at. Not perfect, some blurry, some grainy, some edgy stuff. The flash might fire in a weird way and give you streaks on the photo and so on. So it adds a bit of a random element. And last but not least, the one thing I read was that a Gen Z they have more of a commitment to sustainability. So using like a used secondhand camera, less e-waste and so on. Okay. Now, there are a lot of used ones out there, of course, and we're looking at the like Nikon Coolpix or Canon PowerShot or Sony CyberShot. That's the brands. There are more, but if you look on eBay, the prices have gone up quite a bit.
Oh, really? Oh, that's interesting.
They are being sold. They are being sold used. So you might have to shell out $100, $200, $300 for one of these, which
is what they cost originally.
Yes. Now, here's the interesting thing. You asked if they're still selling them, and there are new point-and-shoot cameras coming on the market after they had virtually disappeared. Panasonic is now making the Lumix ZS99, which is basically the older Panasonic ZS80. It has the same lens, it has the same sensor, does 20 megapixels, has a pretty wide zoom range. I think it's a 30x zoom. It's okay in terms of operation, good autofocus and so on. It also has it does lens flares, as in unintended flaring if you have the sun in your picture, which gives you like weird artifacts, which could be a style, this could be a wow, cool. Someone might find this cool. They've given it USB-C. They've given it Bluetooth 5. The main point of critique is that they took out the electronic viewfinder. So you can only shoot on the display, which isn't too bright. So viewfinders are nice. I like proper viewfinders. I'm old, but hey.
Now this says it has a Leica lens. Is that just a license, and it's not really
It is. Yeah. It is. It's not Leica's not making those lenses in the factory.
That's important to know. There's a little lens flare for you. Holy cow. That's cool if you know what you're doing and you want that.
Your smartphone will not do that.
Yeah.
So
it won't let you do that.
Yeah.
That's pretty nice.
That's Panasonic, and Yashica has announced 2 new point-and-shoot cameras, the City 100 and the City 200, which they are even lower in specs. They have 13 megapixels.
Jeez.
On a very small sensor, like a smartphone size.
Now, wait a minute,
sensor.
though. My iPhone's only 12 megapixels. Isn't this better than an iPhone?
Well, the number of pixels doesn't really matter that much.
It means nothing.
It's not quite known yet if it will it might possibly only shoot JPEG, so no RAW option, but at least 4K video at 60 frames per second. The difference between these cameras is the zoom range. One does 3x, the other does 10x. And the estimated prices, even though I think those were converted from British pounds, are like $275 and $325.
Pretty reasonable.
So that's, I'm not sure how reasonable it is, but this is not about like the best possible photo quality, the most bells and whistles. This is as much like a fashion thing that's going on right now as it is an entire group of people discovering photography in a different way. And my thought about these kind of things that are outside of what I usually do with photography has for quite a while been, it doesn't matter as long as it brings people into photography, as long as it gets people interested in photography. I don't care if you use a cardboard camera or a plastic camera or a Yashica City 100 with 13 megapixels. It does not matter as long as you start forming your brain around photography and building new synapses around photography, because that is, I think, an important skill to have. So
absolutely,
it's good. It's a good
absolutely
trend.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, I kind of saw this coming a few years ago when my father gave his old point and shoot to my daughter, and she had a iPhone. She was so excited about this crappy little point and shoot. She said, "Oh, I can't wait to take pictures with it." I said, "Well, we're gonna have to find a charger and some memory sticks that'll fit in that thing." But okay,
yeah,
and she's very hip. That's why, and I guess so. She knew that was coming.
But it's cool. It's getting people into photography, and that's all that matters. And then later on, maybe years later, someone will go, "Oh, wait a minute, there was something about film, or there was something about medium format, or maybe there's something. What were these old antique DSLRs again? Let me figure that out." So it's all good.
Yeah,
it's all good.
At least she doesn't have her dad's gas, because my gear acquisition syndrome is way out of control, and I'm glad that
is it.
Well, no, not anymore. Not anymore. Although this next one, I think I'm going to check my checking balance.
I'm not sure you will. So there's a camera. I hinted at that, I think, in the last episode, that is called the Texas Leica.
Yeah, I remember you saying that. What does that mean?
All right, so let's hold up our cameras. You have a Leica M11.
This is my beloved and
Let me show you the Texas
expensive Leica.
Let me show you the Texas Leica.
Oh, you have it.
That is
it just looks
one of
exactly
them.
the same, doesn't it?
Well, size-wise, this one covers my face.
Yeah.
Like this is
it's a little
quite
bigger.
a bit bigger.
Yeah. That's why they call it the Texas Leica, and it's not from Leica either, right?
No, it's a Fuji car GW690, which is a medium format camera.
Fuji's widely considered to be Leica's equal, right? I mean, some of the best cameras are Fuji's.
Well, okay, so there are a couple of reasons they're calling this the Texas Leica.
Yeah.
First of all, it's a rangefinder camera.
Oh, interesting.
So it is the exact same. It has the viewfinder on the side,
so
on the left
shoot
side.
Like this. Yeah.
Yep. Which means you can survey the area with your other eye while you shoot and see what's like approaching your frame. And then the focusing, it's a manual focus camera.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's kind of like a Leica.
It is, in that sense, it's kind of like a Leica. It is. This one is actually fully manual. It doesn't even have a light meter in it.
It doesn't have a light meter.
No, it doesn't.
Wow. See, I like having a light meter in the camera.
But if you open it, it shoots on medium format. So
that's
the size of these negatives are 6x9 centimeters, which is if you compare that with a 35 millimeter negative, I think it's like 6 times the surface.
Wow.
It's huge. It's really
and how many megapixels?
big. Well, that depends on how you scan it and how you develop it, because it's film.
Oh, it's film.
Film doesn't have pixel is back.
It's film.
It's film, and so it is the same from the basic principle. It's a rangefinder camera. It is just so much bigger, and of course everything's bigger in Texas, so they started calling this the Texas Leica.
I should have known from the thumb thing on there, thumb lever to advance the film. Wow.
If you go forward in the website, there is a that one. This shows you the size of the film. So this is a 35 millimeter film canister inside the film window.
So obviously you wouldn't use this. You would use medium format film.
Let me show you medium format.
Where do you get medium format film these days?
Oh, you can order it at B&H Photo or somewhere. Okay. This is medium format.
Okay, so it's a little bit taller cylinder. Okay.
This is a taller cylinder, and this one holds, let me check, on a 6x9, 8 exposures. So on the Texas Leica, you have 8 photos on one roll of film. And but they are really high resolution. The quality of the lenses in those Texas Leicas and in those Fuji cars are really good.
Is the Fujinon mount the same as? I mean, what is the mount? It's not a Leica mount. You can't use Leica.
The models. Okay, so they started building this 1967 or something.
Oh wow!
They don't build this anymore.
It's a vintage.
It's vintage.
Okay.
They had a mount for lenses. I think it was called breech mount. One weird mount that no one knows about anymore. And since 1980, they stopped making them with interchangeable lenses. They just switched to fixed lenses in there. And then there's different models. There's a wide one. There's a super wide one. And by the way, Paul, this is what we call 120 film. Medium format 120 is synonymous.
Okay.
So there are different models, but they have amazing image quality. And the interesting thing is, if you had one of the interchangeable ones and you bought like a super wide angle lens, that lens would require an external super wide angle viewfinder that you would put on that shoe mount, on that hot shoe, on a cold shoe mount, so you could see what the lens sees. So it's a really interesting system. But if you get over the lack of a light meter, which isn't too big of an issue actually, if you shoot color negative film, it's fairly easy to shoot without a light meter, and you're fine with the manual focusing, then you have basically kind of a point and shoot with the most amazing possibilities in terms of image quality. You can enlarge these up to like, I don't know, 20 feet in size, these pictures.
Yeah, because it's super high resolution. Wow.
So yeah, that's the Texas Leica, and I bought that used. And
how long have you had that?
Oh, just 3 months now.
Oh, it's a new camera for you.
Yeah. It came into the collection, and I'm really happy about it.
Nice, very nice. Yeah, I guess I should congratulate you on your new baby. I will not be buying one.
That's what I thought.
You're right.
It's too filmy for you, and too. Yeah.
It's too filmy for me. Exactly.
You're okay. You have a proper Leica, which is from a fine mechanics point of view is even better.
And the truth is, this is, I think, what's cured me of gear acquisition syndrome, because I have the kind of holy grail lens, the holy grail camera. And I love the image that I'm getting off of this thing. And it gives me enough challenge to slow me down a little bit. The same reason you might use film. A rangefinder, manual focus takes some thinking about the image and composition. You told me a couple of episodes ago that I'm holding it wrong, that I should hold it with my left eye uncovered. It's taken me a while to get used to that, Chris.
So one area where rangefinder cameras have been like very predominant is in street photography. And the reason is that you can have this other eye open.
Yeah.
And
shoot with one eye open,
and do all the settings here while you survey the area, while you see, okay, you want that one passerby to be in your frame, so you can see them in the corner of your eye, if you leave that eye open. That's one
I still have to wink.
Cool things about it
in order to focus, but okay.
You know, a friend of mine who professionally does video, he trained himself to be able to switch between both open eyes.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
On one or the other.
Yeah.
And when he does video through a viewfinder, he has both eyes open. And then if he looks around in the viewfinder at the different elements and the exposure and stuff, the other eye goes around, of course, which looks kind of
weird,
scary. Scary.
I'm gonna stick with my Leica, although I haven't gone out and taken pictures in a while, so I think it might be time to find some luminous shots.
All right.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, I have one last thing that I just recently came around. I've had a 3D printer for not too long. I got a small Bamboo Lab printer, and I just recently looked into what is out there in terms of what's out there that connects 3D printing with photography, and one of the things, well, there's lots of things. There's like if you go on Thingiverse or other places for 3D models, there's, I don't know, lens caps and camera grips and battery adapters and all sorts of things. But one thing, I found this really genius. Have you ever had to shoot like a small object on a clean, seamless background?
Oh yeah. If you're selling something on eBay or something. Yeah.
So, for example. Yeah. And to do that, you would use what's called like an infinite background, a seamless background, or larger ones are called cycloramas. Like, you'd basically use a sheet of paper, right? And you would put that somewhere and then curve it up in the back, and then you'd need a tape to tape it to something so it doesn't slip off.
They call it seamless because there's no corner. It just curves
it curves and it looks infinite, and
it
doesn't distract from what you're shooting. Yeah. There's a very simple and genius solution if you have a 3D printer. And there are plenty of these. This is just one example. And it is a little rail that you print out, and it has channels, and you slide paper in it.
You put the paper in it.
Any size of paper, any width of paper. And these things are very small. They print fast. There's several different models out there.
Oh, that's so cute. Here it is on Maker World. Paper photo background V2. Wow.
If you click through the pictures, click through the thumbnails, and then you'll see how it works, what it looks like.
It's so cool.
It is just so brilliant, so simple, doesn't use barely any material, and it prints fast. It isn't bulky. It's easy to store and pack away. You can put crafting paper in there, different kinds of paper, or just go to your printer and snatch a sheet of paper and use it in there. And it's genius. It's totally genius.
It's very clever. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good use for a 3D printer. Little things like that.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's useful. It's not just a trinket that you're printing or a new thing that you need for your 3D printer. No, it's something very useful. Absolutely. So
very cool.
Yes.
Chris Marquardt is at discoverthetopfloor.com. That's his website. You can go there, and there's links to his books. There's links to his workshops. Any room left in any of the workshops, or looks like you have 3 spots left for the second part of the Eastern Europe electric photo road trip?
It's not the second part. It is the second tour. It's the same tour as the first one, which is sold out, but it's in reverse. So we're starting in Transylvania. We're going to Budapest, to Vienna, to Prague, to Dresden, to Berlin. Shows you takes you to a lot of iconic landmarks, a lot of historic cities, cultures, Baroque architecture, landscapes in Transylvania, culinary angle as well, because Europe has its very distinct different kinds of things you want to eat there. 10 days.
One thing in common in all those countries, really good beer.
Absolutely, yeah. And,
I don't know if that matters to you or not, but
and 10 days, it's a road trip. As it's a road trip in a car, in an electric car. We are going to be a very small group with like a very good level of flexibility. We'll be able to adjust to whatever we want, and
nice.
It's awesome. I've done it a good year ago, and yeah, doing it again because it's fun. First one sold out.
Discover the topfloor.com if you want to know more about it. Looks like it's an amazing trip. And what a chance to take some beautiful photography, but also to see some beautiful parts of the world with a guy who knows a little bit about them. Very nice.
That's kind of the idea. Yep.
Yeah. The bridges of Budapest, I think. Yes.
Prague.
Prague. Oh.
Yes.
On the Danube. Wow. That's gorgeous. Mm-hmm. Wow. Look at the old city and the new. That's
what a contrast, right?
That's something, isn't it? Yeah. Very nice. Okay. And there's the airports you can go into or out of.
It's easy to get there.
Do you find it's mostly people, Europeans, or do you get a few Americans in there too? Or
no, first or an American, a Canadian, and an Australian.
Sounds like a joke. Did they walk into a bar at any point?
Well, we will probably walk into a bar on the tour. And we'll come up with a joke then.
Sounds wonderful. That's his website, Discover the Top Floor. Chris Marquardt, our wonderful photo guy. We will figure out what day we're going to meet again next time. It'll be in February, yes.
I will put it on the
Let me just look.
page.
Almost exactly a month out would be
Tell me the date,
6th or the 9th or the 13th. So
you choose both.
Do you have a preference, Anthony Nielsen? Let me just see what's going on.
Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Works.
Let's make it the 6th.
Okay.
February 6th.
Move it to 1:30 with your
with my piano lesson?
Piano
No, I think my piano lesson will be over in time from now on.
Same time, 1
p.m. Pacific.
1 p.m. Pacific.
4 p.m. Eastern. That would be 2100 UTC. And that would be on a Thursday, February 6th. Or 5th. No, 6th. Calendar's so
and I'll
tiny.
put it on my calendar.
Yeah. Good. And luminous is the topic of the month. So go out there, take a lot of pictures, look for something that seems luminous in some form or fashion. Since photography is all about light, I think almost any photograph would have.
Yeah, but I think everyone has a bit of a slightly different idea of what luminous could mean.
That's what we like.
It could be just a concept. It doesn't even have to be light, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some people might be luminous.
Thanks to our club members who make this possible. If you're not yet a member of Club TWiT, I invite you to join the gang. It helps us stay on the air, of course. That's a big part of what Club TWiT does. But it also gets you some nice benefits, including this show. We wouldn't be doing it if it weren't for the club. Access to the Club TWiT Discord. Micah does a crafting corner. We've got Stacy's book club. We're voting right now on the next book for that. That's always a lot of fun. We do things just, whenever something interesting comes along. twit.tv/clubtwit if you want to know more. And again, for everybody who joins, it makes a big difference to our bottom line. If we could get to 1 in 20, 5% of our audience as paying members, we wouldn't need advertising. And we would be able to grow and do a lot more. And we would like to do that. I think this is, I think what we're doing here is pretty important. So we ask you to join twit.tv/club TWiT. Chris Marquardt, you always come up with some very fascinating stuff to talk about. Thank God it was a film camera this time. I don't have to run out and get one.
I promise I have another interesting show and tell for next time. Might be film related though, possibly.
Okay, that's okay. That's okay. I don't want to have to buy another camera. I'm very happy.
All for your protection. All for your wallet's protection.
Exactly. discoverthetopfloor.com. Oh, I should change this lower third now. We did our intricate, and now we are. Let me go to captions, and I'm going to change this to
there we go.
luminous. There you go. So now our new photo assignment is luminous. Again, upload your pictures up to one a week to the Flickr, flickr.com. It's free to join. It's a photo sharing site. Tag them, TG Luminous, so we know it's for the Tech Guy group. Submit it to the Tech Guy group. Renee Silverman will welcome you, accept your submission, and we'll look at all the submissions next month. February, what did we say? I've forgotten already. 6th.
The 6th.
I forgot already. February 6th. Thank you, Chris. Have a great day. Have a great evening.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks to everybody for joining us, to all of our wonderful Club TWiT members. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.